the rest of the folks that we have to speak on behalf of PEP. Take the message back out to your community, spread the word for PEP, and push the voice of change. Not exchange, but change. Thank you.
Thank you, Lima. I would now like to call on Sarah Nani, Deputy Chairman of the Deputy Political Leader of the Progressive Empowerment Party.
Thank you, Janice. Our hard-working PRO. Welcome, Sawa Barataria. I am here to give you the biggest trade secret of politics. Yes, politics have secrets. Surprise, surprise. And that trade secret is your vote is your power. Your vote is your power. Your power is in your vote. Don't let anybody else ever tell you anything else otherwise. If anybody else ever came on a civic or political platform, any leadership platform, and ever not have you leaving your seat feeling empowered, feeling in control, feeling that you are a part in the running and the governing and the leadership of your life, then we have a problem. That's why I am here today, because a young person in her 30s who feels that instead of having to pursue a comfortable living, in a home, being married, making her 2.4 average children, sending them to school, all that. Instead of choosing that route, I stuck a pin in that. Because I cannot bring children into this world in good conscience because I can't afford to raise them properly. I know what it's like from Standard Tree to be traveling, because I used to travel to primary school and I used to have to walk Boundary Road to the bus route because we couldn't afford transport. So my father would go to work and my sister and we would walk and we would travel, right? Now, forgetting the unnecessary amount and the heavy book bag issue, right? Forgetting that, putting that aside, because that was a major issue. You get scoliosis. I got scoliosis because of my book bag. So I can tell you, I don't see what was the problem in our locker, in our timetable, in our schedule, and far less now, because now you have more lessons just to keep up. You have more books, you have new ways to try and teach. But forget. That's not why we're here. We're here because of that. We're here because of 6th Street. We're here because of 7th Street. We're here because of non-binaries across there. We're here because when you walk somewhere, it's lucky if the drain not smelling. You're lucky. You're lucky if you feel that your children could go George's ground and come back home. You're lucky that you don't hear gunshots in the night. And the thing is that if I had, probably after high school, bus out of here, you understand, and be an immigrant somewhere else, I probably would have worked for minimum wage, but I would have had and this is what I've seen from my family, who did choose that, who chose not to stay here and invest in their country. They have their house, they have their waste disposal system, they have functioning schools. I'll raise my voice. I don't like to raise my voice. I think I know that. If I believe that, yeah. They have that, and we don't have that. Why? You could tell me why? It's the same people, it's the same citizens. The ones who come here, they go across there, they work their 2.4 jobs. People here working 2-3 jobs, and they still can't fill their pantry with groceries. How does that make sense? But bringing it home to Sawa Barataria, when I say your vote is your power, in this area here, we know the problems. And if you don't know the problems, well, for me, the garbage, roadway, definitely. You can't take a chance and say, all right, whether it's raining or not, it's like it's safe to park your car there, because you can't see if your wheels will go inside and drain. You don't know where the pavement is. Somebody, when they came to do our site visit, because people that were parked because they're not controlled, they hit in the vehicle nearly got on the curb on the same street. Why is that? I have a 6-inch pothole by a T-Road junction, right? That every morning from 6 o'clock in the morning to 8:30 in the morning, all 4 roadways have to stop to maneuver themselves around that pothole. When we asked, we write to the corporation, we asked, who in charge of this? It took them 9 months, no less than 9 months, for them to throw some gravel to put half of it. So it's now 2.5 inches really. And you know, over time, it gets wider and it gets wider and it gets wider. It don't make sense to me. It don't make sense to me that somebody who got and took opportunities in life, got an education, took the lessons, made a living, got a job, the employment sector went haywire. Your spending power get haywire. Your cost of living get haywire. And guess what? Because of that, your local government budget keeps getting cut. And that's what happens at the beginning, at the end of every September. They get told, right, even though we have an increase in population, and we have more people coming in this country, because you know we have an immigrant issue. Some of Barataria, you know we full of them, right? You're saying we have less money to budget, to allocate for the drains and the road. How that making sense? And then that's why we here, and we started our walkabouts, and we met some of you, and we're thankful that you all answered to the call and you all came to our first meeting to introduce our candidate. And the thing about Christoph is that he is someone born and bred in this area, and he sold Barataria as a wonderful, beautiful place to live. We've known him for over a year, since the introduction to PP, and he came there, set on fire, saying, you know what, the youths in this place, you understand, beautiful people. The families in this place, beautiful people. You just know what, it just have nobody listening to them, giving them opportunities, giving them hope, giving them a chance. And then what we knew from him is that he would have, he's part of a lot of volunteer programs, right, where he tries to work with the youth, and he tries to, I keep blushing here, right? And he works with Carol down in the promenade there in Sawa, and he brought the homelessness issue to Old Plus, and he educated us along the way, and now we hear about by-election. Now mind you can think about, if it is that you really care about systems, how your citizens, how could a system be that you have to wait for the passing of a person and a certain time have to pass? So nobody has been represented here for the past 3 months. How that making sense? That making any sense at all? And then they want to tell you, you know, to vote for change, you know, you just switch from one or the other. No, it don't work so. That's why I'm here. Because it did not make sense to me, and this is where the Progressive Empowerment Party engineered itself and pulled itself together. We are just a group of people, right, young and old, but all of us are just willing and fed up, like you. I know we have the football competing, and I know we have the victimization. We know, you understand? We're looking forward. Alright, the fact that we have traffic problems on a PB meeting, I think you'll take that as a good sign, yeah? Right? Well, you see, we know how to identify the problem and the solution, right? And actually, yes, that's what the Progressive Empowerment Party is about. And we know that we need change. That was the solution. How we do about it, they gave us a boon when this by-election come in, and they didn't give that to us. I take that as a sign of fate. It's fated to give us a chance. They wanted to stop us in 2020. You know what? They couldn't help it, because now they need to call a by-election. And now the Progressive Empowerment Party has 2 candidates, one for Belmont East, and we are the only party. Well, you know what? Team Orange is the third party without a doubt, and even Guardian had to say that. And you can't ask for better than that. So all we ask is that when you see us around, you lend us an ear. When you listen to Christoph, you will understand why I say that it will be a vote for change. It will be you empowering yourself for change. I don't need to sell Christoph to you. You just need to listen to him. You just need to take a minute, see what it's about, because you know, if you vote the other parties, you've seen, you've lived, you've experienced. That's their resume. For the past 20 years, that's your resume. And even going back 56. Let's take 10. Let's take 5. Let's take 15 years. You see your drains. You see your potholes. You see your problems. You hear it. You know how much money you have. You know how much groceries you didn't buy. You know you quick it when they call it youth match down in the Samana there. You don't really want to go. You would like to go. You understand? The days of yesterday with the all fours, you know, and the linemen around the corner. It's like, we know you want it back. And that's what we want to bring back to you. We want to bring back community to you. We want Sama Barataria to be a loved, protected, safe community. And in order for that to happen, it needs to be Team Orange. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sarah. Deputy political leader of the Progressive Empowerment Party. I would just like to add one comment to what Sarah indicated just now. And that is, when Christoph gets elected as the next councillor, he's not going to be on his own. He's going to have the full backing and the support of the Progressive Empowerment Party. His own. I would now like to call Felicia Holder, Belmont East representative for the upcoming local government elections started for July 16, 2018.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Barataria. And while you're clapping, I want you all to continue because you all are out here on 4 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon. We have football going on today.
Germany lost. I mean, they win.
Who played? Germany and Sweden. I will pretend Germany won. Okay, woo! Good. Listen. The fact that you guys are sitting down here under this tent on a Saturday afternoon says a lot, and I want you all to give yourselves a round of applause. A big, big, big round of applause. I did this last week in Belmont East where we launched our candidates, myself and Christoph Samland, and I'm here today to endorse him. As a young man who I've known just a little over a year, but have seen his potential, and well, the first thing I thought when I saw him was, I thought I was the youngest person, and perhaps he came and take that away from me, unfortunately. But apart from him being younger than me, one of the things that I realized is that this man has a real deep passion like myself, and that was something that I shared and connected with him. And I first saw it actually when we had that our barbecue last year, and we wanted to donate 100 of those to the homeless. And Christoph was one of the persons who went down, and I actually saw him mingling, interacting with the homeless people. And he came back and he did this really nice post and spoke about it, and I realized that, you know, he's a man who cares for the people, he loves the people, and what better you could want from a candidate than somebody who cares, has a passion for what they're doing. So before I even get into endorsing him, let's just give Christoph a round of applause, because as we all want to have in politics. What could bring us here at 4 p.m. on a Saturday? I looking around and I see an orange and I feel proud. I feel very proud because I literally watched this party grow from a mustard seed. And the fact that so many people have piled on, the fact that so many people believe in this movement is testament to that what we are saying, what we are spreading is a truth that people are grasping onto, a truth that people are holding onto. We barely had a fighting chance. Everybody talking about the PM and the UNC, that's the country's a two-party system, and I don't know if I to party or this person vote, whatever to run, or they want to lose all the deposits. We've heard it. We've heard the negativity. But there's a reason why this party keeps growing. There's a reason why you guys are standing and sitting here at 4 p.m. Oh, I got louder. There's a reason why you are standing and sitting here at 4 p.m. this evening. And that is because we live in a country where nothing works. We live in a country where you don't want to get sick or sick too bad because you have to go to the hospital. Or you don't want to get sick or sick too bad because you don't want to go to the hospital but you can't afford to go private. We live in a country where you don't want to come home too late because you don't know what can happen and not safe. We live in a country where we see the people who are leaders, the people who are on top, the people who are supposed to set the examples. There's no accountability when they take advantage of the public funds that we give to them. There's no accountability when we pay $100 million for oil that never materializes. There's no accountability for what has been done to Belmont East. I look at my residents when we did a walkabout, and I couldn't believe that this was the state of P&M land. They called Belmont East P&M land. I read an article that said the P&M coasting in Belmont. They coast. They didn't even have to try. Actually, the only reason they started a campaign was because they heard a third force was there. Yeah. They weren't even trying. And I asked the people last week, I said, P&M is proud to say that they're coasting in Belmont, but what are they doing to get our vote? We sit down in this audience here today with the PNM as the ruling party and the party that is in government right now. And I listened to my opponent say that it's time for change. And I thought, change from what, darling? Your party is ruling. Is it a change from you? Yeah. Because you're in power and I have no water in my pipe. Your party in power and my dreams are in a mess. Your party in power and it's 20 years now I'm begging for a street light. Your party in power and my black people, because PNM like to claim the black people, my black people suffering. So what exactly is your reason for being in power? And what exactly is your reason for running for local government elections again when you are the problem?
Thank you.
I want to challenge, and I probably shouldn't say it here, but I would really like to debate my two opponents because I really want them to explain to me why after 56 years, why after both of them had their turns, that my country is still in a mess like this. I want them to answer me why putting a new body, because they're the new young fresh faces, you know, the new face of the PNM and the new face of the UNC, why do they think that putting a nice fresh body on an old engine going to make any sense? Yeah, maybe a little new. No, but really, someone asked me if I had on an interview this week if I would tell people not to vote for them. It's not, I have nothing against young women. I have nothing against them. And I applaud anybody who wants to stand up and think that they can make a difference for their country. But I do not understand and I cannot support putting new faces on the same muck that we have sitting down there in Parliament called the opposition and the present government. I can't support it. We're here today because the PP is a party that, when I say we care for the people, I got involved because I personally had my own fears. Sarah Nabi said she doesn't want to have, she doesn't know if she wants to have kids as a young woman. And those are my same fears. I look around at my peers, my best friends, they have all migrated, most of them. And I look at the state state of the country. I invited some friends to come today, they didn't come, and I asked these same people. We sit and we complain and we drink and oh God, things bad. Yeah boy, my dollar not even lasting. And nobody is willing to stand up. Standing up takes an extreme amount of bravery. People tell me one time, please, you're so brave. And I didn't get into this to be brave or be seen as a role model or any. I didn't get into this for that. I didn't expect to be standing up here today. I'm telling you the fact. I didn't really expect that. But I'm proud to do it, and I'm happy to do it because you know why? We need more Trinbagonians who want to stand up. We need Trinbagonians to say, wait, our country in a bad state, my dollar not going anywhere. I can't get sick because I don't know what will happen to me. I don't know what will be my case if I have to go to a lawyer to solve a case because the TTP are they're so corrupt. That is the state of the country, and if more people were willing to stand up, if more people were willing to say, I want better, not just for myself, but for my family and my future generations. I asked somebody today, this week in a walkabout, I said, Papi, your life fixed, you know. You're 80 something, you good, you nothing more to worry about. But question, do you have kids? You have grandkids? What do you think is going to be the future for them if this country continues to go the way that it is heading? Do you think that they have any hope? Do you think that there are any opportunities for them? I know so many people that I graduated with degrees upon 2 degrees and 3 degrees and masters and pursuing PhD and can't get a job. Working regular jobs that they don't even study for, earning minimum wage, will never be able to own a home. And I have to ask them, the same ones who are not here today, I have to ask them, what are you doing different to get different? The onus is on all of us. We're here today because we, and I've seen everybody in a sea of orange, even if you're not in orange, the fact that you're here today means that you are willing to take some level of responsibility for your own life, for your democracy. I say the power is in your hands. Local government elections, people barely even take it on. I know the truth is local, like, yeah, again, 2 hours off for the day, let's go online. People don't take it on. But what I'm encouraging people to do is to look at this upcoming elections as an example setter. When I say an example setter, like the PNM say they're coasting in Belmont, and Barataria is what a swing seat. It could be PNM, it could be UNC. But the truth is, why do any of those two deserve or think that they have your vote? It is time that we say no. Imagine the message that we could send to the opposition and to the government when we say we don't want none of you. Say it again. Imagine the message that we could send. This little party, this little 2x9 party, this little, whoa, they losing all the person, blah, blah, blah. Imagine the message that we will send when we tell the government or the opposition we don't want none of you. That is my motivation. That is what I wake up thinking about every morning. Now, since I'm in this race, every morning, my motivation, when I wake up, when I'm tired, when I have to write a speech that Suzanne is bugging me for, and Janice, they're like, well, I'll get it done, I promise. I promise. When time is getting away from me, when I feel like, oh God, I'm tired. Oh Lord, I have work in the morning. Oh Lord, I have an expert meeting. My motivation is being able to see this country actually take itself back from these people who think they own us. These people who clearly don't have our interests at heart. I love my country so much. Like, people talk to me about migrating, and I say migrating, like, I've been away, I've seen things away. Oh yeah, it's nice, it's fun. I like fries, I'll eat the fries when I travel, but Trinidad is my home. It's a country I love. It is beautiful. Like, you ever take a drive on the North Coast? Yeah. You ever take a drive on the North Coast in the evening and just see how absolutely beautiful this country is? I want to go back Blanchy Shares because gorgeous. There's no country that I've seen or been in that reminds me of Trinidad and Tobago. We are unique. We as a people, we are unique. Our islands are unique, and it is something that is worth fighting for. I can't leave here, not just because our family is one reason, but I can't leave here knowing that my country is failing and I did not do my best to save it. I wasn't born a politician. I didn't set out to be a politician. Like I said, I could be lying right now, football game going on. Is it? I would have been drinking. I'd be like, yeah, not knowing what happening because I'm not really big on football. But I would have been down for the line. And to do this takes a level of commitment and love for country. This here, me standing up here today, this is my absolute love for my country. And I will fight for it. And I'm very proud to know that I have a team called the Progressive Empowerment Party that is fighting behind me for my country. I've never seen in my life, in my very limited knowledge of politics, I've never seen a party that talks solutions. They come up here, I listen to political, I mean not too much, but I hear a few of the political meetings and I'm not in routine. We pay a bill for routine. The reason crime is because of last party. And I hear the mudslinging and the crime is this one falls and this one empty the treasury and a lot of mudslinging, and that's what I know politics to be. I've never heard a party talk solutions, ideas, plans, policies, programs to fixing Trinidad and Tobago, and the Progressive Empowerment Party is the party that is doing that. Like I say, I'm here to endorse Christopher because standing behind this party, one of the passionate people, one of the people who is doing all that they can do to save this country. I see Christoph take on some people who I know were his friends, and I had to tell him, I was like, Christoph, like I know this won't be tough. I myself have lost friends doing this. I know what it is like, and I've seen him do it bravely. I have seen him brave people in the social life that he was a part of, and still is a part of, and I've seen him stand up for his country. And as 25 years old, I think that is something very admirable. I think we should give him a really huge round of applause. At 25 years old, Barataria needs a Christoph Samler. Barataria needs Christoph Samler. We need fresh ideas. We need people who care about their constituency. We need people who are willing to say, you know what, this journey might be lonely, but doing it despite, because I love my country that much. We need people who are willing to brave some of the oldest politicians, because I see Vonley try to take you on. He wasn't ready. We need people who are willing to brave the criticism, to brave the limelight, to just stand up. And Christoph, this evening I hear, and like I said, I only know you a little bit here, but I'm so very proud and happy to endorse you, because Barataria, with no true representation on you, there's no doubt about it. I've seen your passion, I've seen what you can do, I've seen just how much you want to do for the people. And Barataria will be crazy if come July the 16th they don't vote you in. People, I would like to thank you so much again for coming out today. Give yourself another round of applause, because it could have been anywhere else. When you listen to Christoph, again, I'd invite you to open your mind, open your heart to something new. We had the same old exchange between the PNM and the UNC, and nothing is different. Like I said that in The Guardian today, the interview that came out today, 56 years and nothing is new. Are we going to keep what we have, or are we going to try something? And that's something new for Barataria is Christoph Samler. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Felicia. Just this week, we had an older man come to speak to the crowd, to speak to the executive, right? And he was telling us about some of the issues that go on in local government. One of the things that you have to bear in mind when choosing a candidate, when you get into the voting booth, on the 16th of July is the candidate passionate enough that when he gets a no, is he just going to rock back and say, okay, they tell me no, that's it? Is he going to be like that? Or is she going to be like that? Does the candidate exhibit the will to get things done and to work with the relevant ministries and to work with the relevant bodies to ensure that what the issues are in Barataria, that it gets sorted out? That's the kind of question that you need to ask yourself when you get into the voting booth. I am now going to call on the representative of Barataria, your candidate under the PEP, Christoph Samlam.
Afternoon, Barataria. Give yourself a round of applause for being out here on a Saturday and being part of the few to demand real change this Saturday. Well, as Philip gets up there, he was the guy who suggested I start with a joke. So I went on Google and I Google searched political jokes. Sadly, UNC and PNM alone came up, so I said I'll just leave the jokes aside for today. But all jokes aside, I'd like to thank all of you all for being here and demanding change, for choosing me as your representative for Barataria. And I'm glad to tell you that I'm here to make some noise on your behalf. Let me start by saying, I'm no career politician. I'm an average citizen just like all of you all here. Actually, this entire party was born out of just hard-working patriots, giving their time, their money, their energy to help build this party from the ground up. I was actually there at all the meetings where these 21 policies were discussed and argued and then solidified in this form here. So like I said, I'm not a career politician. I actually spent the past 9 years building up my business as a photographer. I worked parties, fetes, weddings, carnivals in Trinidad, Jamaica, Barbados. I've seen it all, and my favorite part of the entire thing is meeting people. Getting to know people, getting to understand how their views on life work. And I think that had a big factor in me becoming a politician, as they call me now today. My friends call me Mr. Politician Man. So, I spent all week here figuring out what to come up here and talk to these people at Barataria about. As we walked about during the week, inviting people to this meeting, it was clear the amount of neglect that local government did to this area. From that corner there, we have sidewalks with no manhole covers. To that corner there, we just have no sidewalks. Which corners where there's no street lights. We saw drains where there's no drainage going on, so we just breed in mosquitoes and frogs. And I could go on and on and on about the neglect. But then what would make us different from the UNC and PNM? They come, they tell you, listen, this is what they give you. We want to give all it better. You vote them in, same story. We here with a whole different story. We here because as a party, we have this heartfelt mentality that this entire nation is just a collection of communities. And we would like to build back this nation, one community at a time, starting with Barataria and Bangkok. I mean, again, I'm so glad to see you all here on a Saturday because the nation has been surrounded with negativity. If it's not the news, nah. If it's not the news, it's people like Philip waking up himself every day, angry, and I understand why he's angry. But, I mean, in all this atmosphere of negativity and disappointment, Progressive Empowerment Party is coming out as a shining light to let you all know that we believe in this country still. We haven't given up. We're still here fighting, setting up tents, walking about and inviting you all to let you know there is still hope.
Yes, well said, brother. Well said.
The founding principles of this party is to educate, inform, and empower. Things that the previous administrations did, they kept us out of the know. I'm sure 3/4 of you all here don't even know what local government means to you. So why would you go and vote? That's what they use as their advantage. We using that we want to educate you and let you know what your powers are. Let you know what that one little vote on July 16th really means to you for the next 3 years. So, this party hasn't given up hope on you. As I said, we are working on building back a community in Barataria. So, our goal right now as part of this campaign, and Sarah touched on it earlier, we want to create a community atmosphere in Barataria. So, we are looking to host the same thing she said, all force tournament, come out, try and hang your councillor Jack, you know, take a little bouncy slide and thing with the children, maybe a little pet and zoo, as well as encourage all the local businesses and entrepreneurs to come and showcase their stuff. Because I mean, the multinational companies are just coming and killing out the small man trying to help out. The little parlors who have their little shops, Kiss and Quilo come, nobody coming for the daily bread again. I mean, we could go on and on and on, but like I said, we're trying to keep the message positive. We're trying to encourage people that they could build themselves up and that they have a party behind them trying to help them. I didn't want to spend too long here because I don't want to stand up and talk at you all. I want to be down there, like Com said, meet me outside, let me talk. Let me discuss the problems that affect you all, let me come up with solutions, and let's start this change that we're really looking for today. I encourage you all as well, don't just take this little 21 policies lightly. This 21 policies is what guides this entire party here. It's what guides every orange jersey you see here today. So read it, question it, ask any one of us anything else you want to know. Make sure you yourself firmly believe in it and tell me if that's not the country that you want to live in. And on July 16th, come out and demand better. Thank you.
Yeah! Well said. Well said.
Thank you, Christoph. You know, they say at the end of every tunnel, there is light. The Progressive Empowerment Party is the shining light at the end of the tunnel. So it is something for you to look forward to. I'd like to now call on Robert Amaro to just say a few words for us.
Very good afternoon. My role today is a very simple one. I am here to lend my support to Christoph. When I looked at the situation and I listened to everyone speak, I was very touched by him making the statement about hope. And let me begin by indicating that a nation that is hopeless is going to end up in peril. And if there is one thing I want to appreciate that Philip has tried to do, is to engender, advocate, enunciate, all the words you could think about, that hope is still alive in Trinidad. In my own incarnation, I have taken part in the politics of this country. I served as a senator some time ago. I see my youngest son in the back there. And I kind of got appointed as a senator. And while I was in the Senate, I had the opportunity to try to make some difference. When I first went in there, I made it absolutely clear I'm towing no party line. I've always been that kind of guy. Those of you who know me, I'm a straight standing guy. I call it as it is. So if Christoph Jack have to get hanged, that is what will happen. Local government gives Christoph an opportunity, gives Felicia a great opportunity. And I want to distinguish why I say great an opportunity. I think Belmont is by far an area that has the capacity for quicker change than Barataria is. Barataria is a very polarized area, whether we like it or not. And I tell you, I'm a straight shooter, so I'm not here to tell you what you maybe want to hear. I have to tell you what I think the obstacles are, and you have to find a way around them. I can't enunciate, I can't show you how to get around it. Because getting around it means touching the hearts and lives and minds of the people of Barataria. And in a polarized society where you have all of this voting for a symbol, we have lost our way. True politics is about representation. When it comes down to the issues, it has to be when you go to that voting booth on the day, you make a determination between the characters or the independents or the political appointed persons who will be able to do the damn job for you. And we know for sure in Belmont, the PNM cannot do it. Cannot do it. We know for sure that the UNC will not be able to do it. And we have a damn good chance of saying that Felicia would are going to do it. My second senses or my third eye or my inner spirit tells me she's going to bring it home one way or the other. In the Barataria position, however, Christophe have a hurdle because he has to deal with what is called past expectations. There's always been some little things that have happened, and I can tell you that because I lived and worked in Barataria for about 20 years. Prior to now, I was called the Toyota man. We had to sell the company because of difficulties that we also engaged at a time in the economics of Trinidad and Tobago when things didn't work right. And instead of frustrating myself, I said, here what? Sell the company back to Toyota. It's a big mistake. I should not have done that. But today, I made a mistake forward faster and I can do something better because in the near future, we're going to have a car on the roads of Trinidad and Tobago called the Ama Future. So that is where I have gone. Created a Chinese company to make my own car for me. So just now we're going to have our own car on the road. That means to say you're not going to buy a Ford or a Honda. You have a chance to buy an Ama just now. And when I look at Christophe, I listened to him today. And I'm impressed with the young man. I don't know the man that long. I cannot put my head on a block for him as I can put for Felicia. But he has my full support in the Barataria area. And anything I can do to help him, he will get it from me. Felicia spoke about bringing the two other candidates to a debate, and I have openly said this, and I don't think they'll pick it up. But you could challenge them. Our radio station M1047 is prepared to open the forum up for Felicia and the other two has-beens to come to try and see if they could outdo her. And I'm telling you, this young woman have drive beyond my imagination. Because when I first met her about a year ago, I asked myself, I said, but Philip, boy, you sure you know what you're doing? But today I want to tell you, I think Philip made the right decision. He put a competent person to do the job. And that is what we need to do in both Barataria and also in Belmont. On a little side note, I'm coming in and I'm worried because somebody tell me my football team lost. I said, oh God, why? We didn't make it to the 16. But then I sat there and I said, let me check this thing. I was about to pull it up on my little smartphone, and it's Sweden that lost and not Switzerland. So I am relieved. I still have a chance to be able to be in the 16 and put on my Swiss jersey. And it's not because Switzerland have money. It's because I really see the heart in Switzerland like I see the heart in the two candidates in these two areas. And that beats everything. In this particular local government election, the issues has to be faced. And the reality is the reality. Are the roads good? No. Are the drains good? No. Is the pavements in order? No. Is the security services in order? No. Is the health center in order? Maybe. Is the traffic management in Barataria in order? No. Are there problems in Barataria on both sides, including flooding? Yes. Do you see the representative? No. Are you seeing garbage collection happening on a regular basis? Have you seen them institute any kind of thing? I look across the road and I see a gentleman who lives in the house across the road put a nice little basket up on top of his wall to put his rubbish so the dogs don't bite it up. Don't you think that that's something the regional corporation can investigate and build and create and make and install in every single house in this particular area throughout Trinidad and Tobago? Definitely yes. Will it create employment? Yes. But when you have stupid people And Keith Rowley said to him, he said, when you have somebody who know everything about everything and don't do nothing, what has happened? And he's the same damn thing. He know everything about everything and he ain't doing nothing. The man spent $400 million to build some roads. And I went yesterday to Guayco, Tamana. I had a wake-up call because in going there, I don't need to tell you, the roads damn bad. If you go there and you don't know, and you're trying to get into there fast, trouble. You mash up the vehicle. Because the road has whole big, like some of them craters that you'll see all over the place. But what hurt me most was the murder of the man that was living next door to the school. I went yesterday to talk to some little children of Karedi. And these little children, when they were coming to school, had to face this dead man inside of his place. 10 o'clock in the night he gets murdered. 5 o'clock in the morning the body is still there. And between 10 and 5 no police in an area that have only 3 ways to come out and they can't catch the people. Madness. What the hell are you telling me? Madness. How could that ever make sense? And this morning in the papers I'm happy to see that they are making the statement Dylan must go, but Dylan should have gone 2 years ago. Dylan is a boo. Dylan can't fit the shoe. Dylan have no capacity to do anything for you. So it is time for all of us to tell Dylan, go sit on the potty and have a poo. Because let's be realistic. 200 and something murders, 90 I think, and counting. And we still have no answers for the problems. And a simple matter like a man getting murdered in a rural part of Trinidad and Tobago, where you have only 3 places to get in or get out. It's not like Belmont where you have 25. You still can't find the murderer. How could that make sense? Even me, with my incapacity as a legal man, could do a damn better job than Dylan. Common sense seems as if though it isn't working in solving the problems of the criminal deviant behavior in Trinidad. But let me tell you what caught me even by better surprise. All these young children running up. Sir. Call me out on the radio, big me up on the radio. And I made the mistake of saying, write down your name. But boy, every child write down their name. So I have about 75 little pieces of paper, but I'm going to use it in a nice way. I'm going to cut their names out, turn it into a collage, make a nice little painting of it, send it back to the school, and we're going to call all of those children's names out next week on the radio. Alright, in recognition of them even wanting it. But while I was there, if you think Pep ain't known, let me tell you something. Pep damn well known, you know. Because a few women came to me, Mr. Hamar, I see you supporting Pep. I want to tell you, we go in and give Philip Alexander 100% of everything that we have. No matter what, we can't come to all the meetings, but we're giving him everything. We're going to support him because we believe the man have the right ideas. And I really also believe so. I have listened to Philip. And hey, I might have my own biasness because I'm a politician too. But give right where right is. Philip has done a hell of a good. Philip has put together something that I think is going to mask all of the infidels. Because I don't think he is easily fooled by people just coming to wave a flag. This is not a crowd that is busting. I'm looking at the cross-section of people here. I'm pleasantly surprised to see the cross-section. I mean, Philip, you're not married, so be very careful.
Hey.
Be very careful.
You have a whole team looking after that.
Be very careful.
You have a team looking after
Remember the French president. Be very careful.
I take your advice.
All right, good.
Take your advice.
So, let me just say to you that the politics of the future is about who can deliver. It's not about which party. It's about what you can do for the people that you represent. And I'm a true believer because when I went up in Woodbrook under my own political movement, the National Democrats, I really thought I would win. And I got the rude awakening. The person who does nothing got 550 votes, and the person who went there to do something got 125. If that does not show a significant polarization in the voting attitude, then nothing will. Barataria, my friend, where are you? Where are you? Where's the candidate? Christoph, oh, right, oh Lord. I thought you was in the back before, but you move so fast, people better watch themselves in Barataria, because by the time they try to talk about the drainage effects. What impressed me also about Christoph as I wind up is that he left all the professions that he could have done, including teaching. And I don't know, I see a lady with a thing on her foot. Is that your teacher? Is that lady in the back there? No. Because I heard him make reference to his principal or the teacher, and he wanted to also become a teacher. But over time he decided, it looks as if though I could look at things through the eyes of a camera and do better. And I want to tell him, all the things you have there, including all the fun things you will have had, because he keep always happy on this thing. He feels he's a party man. You know, going to fete and going here and going to this carnival and then this band and then tribe and everything. Hey, it is the experiences from that that you have to turn into the realizations of the person you would want to be. Because the picture that you paint is the picture you want people to see. And that is the picture that when they see you, they see the drain fix. When they see you, they see the street light get repaired. When they see you, they see something being done about the flooding. When they see you, they see representation. When they see you do something about the children. When they see you, they see the play park ready for the children to use. That is the kind of picture you have to paint. And once you start painting that picture, I guarantee you, all of the people are polarized. The people are not stupid. The Trinidad and Tobago population has come alive. The Trinidad and Tobago population has been awakened. The Trinidad and Tobago population is starting to make conscious decisions about what tomorrow will look like. The Trinidad and Tobago population is starting to question, can I have a better life? The Trinidad and Tobago population is starting to say, I am not accepting this no more. The Trinidad and Tobago population is saying, we can do better. The Trinidad and Tobago population is saying, enough is enough. The Trinidad and Tobago population is saying, go away PNM, go away UNC. It's time for something new. And I want to believe that with Philip continuing in his endeavors, the PB has as good a chance to pulling off a next election, general or otherwise, as we look forward to a more educated citizen making decisions that will be in the best interest of your future rather than looking at your past. The past is gone. It can only be reflected upon. The present is now, and the future is in your hands. Go out and vote on election day and put the two PEP candidates in office. I thank you.
Thank you, Robert Amon. I would now like to invite Ian Griffith to say a few words for us, please.
Okay, afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to begin by just asking everyone to stand for a few minutes for those lives that are lost in this country. Okay, thank you. Okay, that silence is reminiscent of what a lot of people feel in their hearts given the crime situation in the country. An emptiness and hopelessness. But we're not here today to repeat ad nauseum so much the ills of the country, but of a new way of looking at things and going forward. So let me just say a little bit about the PP at its inception. It was a few people that got together with a civic-minded intention to do things for citizens on a small level, whether it's with legal assistance to correct a wrong or redress something that went bad. Maybe a mother in a hospital that gave birth and lost a baby with no explanations. Get someone to follow that up. So the lawyers don't the doctors don't investigate the doctors, and the lawyers cover it up. It became a realization that that may not be the best and effective method to make a change in the country, so that out of default, a party was created. Now, this is one of the few political parties in the country that is not made up of politicians, and that's a good thing. They're made up of passionate people who want to change and do better for the country. There is a line in a Janet Jackson song that basically says, "What have you done for me lately?" And that's a question I want each one of you to ask yourselves as you contemplate who you want to vote for and why you want to vote. I was in Belmont recently when Felicia was presented as a candidate for Belmont East, and there were 2 R's that kept repeating itself by most of the speakers, and it includes rubbish and rodents. And sitting here this afternoon, I was listening to some of the comments made by the candidate, Christophe, and others, about sidewalks here, sidewalks not there, drains not clean. All right, let's just take off our political allegiance, historical, but it's UNC or PNM, and just let's chat as people. We are at a barbecue line. Why do you think in 2018, on a political platform, we are discussing, promising to remove your garbage, or to put bins on your fence to store it, or to give you a sidewalk? Just think about that. Let's just sort of dovetail into Mr. Amar's segment. Would you purchase an Amar car without a spare tire? It's standard. And the point is, the things that most of the candidates, including our own PEP candidates, and I confer with Robert in this regard, my endorsement is conditional. I will come on the podium and endorse you, and the day you screw up, I will get on Facebook and I will disenfranchise you. Because it's no longer, and I don't know if it's probably G-rated, so I'll just be coy, it's not the BS party. And that's the type of party that we have organized here by individuals who are not here for political gain for themselves. I personally don't even want a political position. I don't want to steal your money and put it in my bank account. But let's just go back to that non-partisan position. You think you should be asking for water, discussing rodents in Belmont, rubbish, and a sidewalk? A true political party should, regardless of the government in power, should give you that, just like a car comes right now with a spare and Bluetooth. What we should be discussing here tonight is something that transcends that, to which you would hold Christophe to deliver beyond trash collection. Would you purchase a home without a toilet? Oh, this unit comes with a toilet. All the other realtors and developers don't put toilets. Take this one. Really? Think about that for a moment. It reminds me of Jack Warner's propulsion into regaining a seat after he was vacated or was thrown out. And he catapulted, and even Mr. Amar spoke about maybe this is the beginning of the unity of the country with a black man winning in Chabonas, east or west, I forgot. But he was catapulted because he installed box drains like crazy. Think about that again. You have a property, it's clogged, and a politician comes and installs box drains, and he gets your vote. Imagine a roof without a gutter system. I just want you to think about that for a moment. And that is why each one of you need to move yourselves away from saying, this is what my parents did, this is what a neighborhood does, and start critically thinking on your own. And again, to paraphrase Janet, what have you done for me lately? And if you haven't done anything for me, well, we need change. Now, on the concept of change, something interesting happened in Belmont post Felicia's being presented as a candidate. I don't remember the name, and I deliberately don't want to remember the name. The UNC candidate for Belmont was reading her speech, and there was a sea of yellow. And I heard it, and even Mr. Jared Ramdin repeated it on Mr. Amar's television show during the ground report. So it's deliberate. Don't hope for change, vote for change. Take a deep breath. The PEP came out as a party of change. And while there's a media blackout, the candidate for Belmont East captures the tagline of the PEP as an addendum up front and says, don't vote for change, vote for change. Well, that's good news to the PEP. They're hearing you, even though there's a media blackout. So I don't know if there's any legal ramifications for using the tagline, but we'll see how it goes. But let's look at it critically thinking. The candidate for Belmont East, and a party that's well established going way back then, I won't give it the history now, Club 88 and moving forward, cannot present themselves as a party of change if you've been there. The PNM cannot present them party as a party of change if you've been there. The only party that could present themselves as a party of change is a party that has not been there. That's how defunct the UNC ideas are in Belmont East to present change, co-opting the PEP's tagline, hope for change. Mr. Amar made reference to polarization, and I obliquely touched upon it. And my role here tonight is basically non-partisan. I am not here to do personal attacks on politicians. That's not what the PEP is about, at least that's not what I am about. And even when I'm invited to speak and Philip contacts me, he just asks, Ian, are you available? Could you come and speak? I think it's probably one of the few political parties where someone is invited to speak without a PRO or the executive having a scripted conversational piece. Because I could be off topic right now, but such is the nature of the party, because each person here is an individual, and his sole role is to create a new environment, and a new environment to create a change that you, the people, can benefit from. Everybody else is scripted, because there's a party line and a party mantra they're going with. Let me go back to Belmont, because it's a little bewildering that the party, the member for Belmont, at this stage wants to come and deal with rubbish. Is that really a platform you really want to get up for a local election to go out and vote for, when you're probably dodging a bullet, or you're in silence, burying a loved one without any knowledge as to... I think this is a good point to tell you to shut up. Seems to be a good mantra from Dylan. Anytime you want to know about crime, shut up. But let's go between the two parties. There was a gentleman in that party, in the opposite party, that once stood in Parliament and said, shut your stink mouth. And I just want to tell you, neither one of these two entities really are here for you. It's all theatrics and stunts in Parliament. You drive Asian cars, they drive European cars. They have diplomatic passports, they have access to power, they have access to governance. You do not need to be a minister to chief in this country. You just need to be somebody in politics where you can extend favors. So Philip gives me a job as something of something. You know Philip? Ask him to do such and that. So Philip calls Robert because he's in Ministry of Works and they get it done. But I'm not in Parliament. The media's not after me, but I get kickbacks. Of course, when you are a politician, that's when you do really well. Again, think critically of your situation you are in today. Think of the kind of country you would like. Think of those that are BSing you. Think of the policies and programs that have been delivered to you. And while I've heard the PEP candidates advocate about correcting some of the ills, water and trash, that is not the standard to hold them to. You have to hold them to a higher standard. That cannot be the reason for them offering up themselves to get rid of your trash. Where I live, I closed down a Labas on my own, with a neighbor, by attending statutory meetings, and my MP couldn't do it. You need to hold this young lady and this young man to deliver much beyond trash collection, a representation, to go in there and not be co-opted and be silenced by the CEO or the other councillors, not to represent you. And if he's stymied or she is stymied, she has an obligation to get back to the public and say, you appointed me, you elected me, I am in there, and this one is stifling me, and that one is stifling me. And put them on blast. So therefore, you do not seem to be co-opted and ineffective, just like all the others before you. And that would be a change in itself. I don't want to spend too much more time. I'd like Philip to speak, but I just wanted to share those thoughts with you. And when the campaign heats up for the local and even for the general, when people are offering you basic stuff, just think of the analogy I made with Mr. Amar's car. It comes with a spare tire. And if you want to accept that, well, we'll never get out of this aspect. I want to quote Donald Trump, but I don't know how many people here might just throw me off. He's my boy, yeah? So ask yourself that. You have a responsibility to demand much higher than the basics. Need to hold your councillors accounted, your elected officials accounted. And I would just reiterate one of the founding principles of the PEP party. And you don't need constitutional change to do it. I think it will be something internally addressed with by the executive, that if you vote for these two persons and they're ineffective, they will not be removed at the next local election. They will be moved immediately by fiat, by internal vote. That's the kind of party that you have. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Ian. Our next speaker is a very dynamic speaker, and we all are looking forward to hearing from him. Philip Edward Alexander. I'd like to call to the podium, please.
Mr. DJ, turn that up. Wake yourselves up, stand up, come on. Ole know the drill, ole know the drill. And thank you, ole somebody to wave. Your phone will decide. You can stand up. You have full permission. Your phone will decide. You have full permission. Your phone can protect our country's state. There is a voice of life. If it is not who you're voting, very on the ground. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the proven to be only pull them out. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the time is now, that change will come about. Just as how you vote them in, vote them out. Register and vote them out. If they don't see, vote them out. Stick your finger and vote them out. Show them no mercy, vote them out. Vote them out with total skull and honor the state. Let's put our country together again. Put them out of power, dominate the rain. Let's put our country together again. Thank you, Mr. DJ. Thank you, Mr. DJ. Have your seat. Give yourself a round of applause. Like all the speakers have said so far today, what you are doing, not just us, we have a job to do. We've undertaken a role. But what you are doing is democracy in action. What you are doing is sending a message to all of those who thought they control the politics and the government of Trinidad and Tobago, that the people of Trinidad and Tobago understand their power and they're no longer interested in politics as usual. You're not interested. Robert said change must come. Change must come. Ian tell you, this is the party of pure democracy. We trip over ourselves to give you as much of a say as possible. Before they came here today, the entire executive of this party was at a meeting 10:30 this morning, dotting I's and crossing T's to make sure that when we get here this afternoon, we represent ourselves, our party, and you. That's the mission. That's the mission. When people speak at a meeting, I listen to what they say before me. So I know where we at. Ian tells you. I mean, we made a joke the other day. And somebody asked me, do you write down what you're going to say before you speak? I said, no, I like to be just as surprised as everybody else what coming out my mouth. Last night we did a live video on social media for 4 hours. And in that 4 hours, we sold 1,000 tickets at $60 each for a curry queue. We were just linemen. We have something called the Friday Night Line. And we were just linemen talking little stupidness. And we said, hey, we have some tickets to sell. A man saying, I'll take 100. 100. And from there it went. And they sold out all local and foreign-based Trinidadians. And that is just a hint of the power growing within this movement of people. When they call my name, I feel honored and privileged to be counted among them all. This stopped being about me a long time ago. A long time ago. This is a we thing. We say teamwork make the dream work. Look around you. Look around you. Every face. There are people here who have literally labored to build this party. I look at just this setup here. Debbie Lee Jaikaran, sick with the virus. She come and she make sure this is her piece of the pie and she get it done. And every time Debbie Lee, you do a better job, and I want you all to give Debbie Lee a round. Sick, the girl sick. And she make sure this happen and they get better every time. We get a lot of opportunities to practice. We get a lot of opportunities to debate. We get a lot of opportunities to talk. So when the PNM and the UNC do they jump out, they self-stunt and send somebody that look like a crapo in a Balize tie or a rising sun and send them. They're coming up against Felicia Holland, Christoph Samlal, and they're ready, you know. They're not ready. We have some candidates already grooming for, and not groom the way Rowley does groom people, grooming for national election, general election, because we know he testing the water, you know. We know he testing the water, and I know how Rowley's play this game. It's a straight out PNM playbook. Test them with local government, see what they do. Because if it look like the other parties already bust their throat one time, Manning tried twice and lost both times. Remember that? Robert Amar is a friend of the Progressive Empowerment Party. He may not yet be a member of the Progressive Empowerment Party, but he don't know. We don't have him written down already. That we candidate for Port of Spain South. Whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not. In Orange, your family, everybody's peppers. He like reluctant. He has to keep begging a little bit. You know, have some people like that. Or let's keep reminding him, that's we candidate for Port of Spain South. Listen, we are building a team of people that the media is doing themselves a disservice by not meeting and getting to know. The first time I heard Lima and Sarah Nabi speak was January 17, 2017. Ian could tell you. When we started this, we put the wheels on the track. And the two of them were nervous. You could hear their voice shake. You knew that they were stepping into something, because both of them were presented by me on that day. Oh, you're speaking tonight. And those two ladies stepped up. And to listen to them today, Lima light Belmont on fire last week. Last week, Lima light it on fire. I was down in the crowd. And when she talking, I was ready to pick up thing and pelt. There we go. Oh, look here, huh? When we need, listen, if they come out, we pull them in front, you know. We go answer them. Sarah speaks like a professional politician. Now, you're hearing her. She runs the social arm. She's a deputy political leader. She's grounded. And she has a plan. When we tell her, come up here and speak, I tell her this morning, oh, let's see any paper in her hand. The first time they speak, the two of them had about 10 paper. Now, hand me a microphone and get out the way. As our team, Robert talking about Felicia. We met Felicia that same night. Felicia was in the audience. And they had an open mic and she walked up to the mic and she commanded the stage. We said, yep, we're bringing her on board too. Christoph has been with the PEP for a long time, since it started. But he's not one of those people that would push himself to front. So when we push him to front, he had to wake up. He's waking up. And I see, like I saw in Sarah and Lima and Felicia, I see a lion inside of Christophe Samuel. And if Barataria puts Christophe Samuel on that council, they're in trouble. Trust me. Christophe Samuel will make sure that the area that he represents get real representation. Christophe Samuel will make sure that the other councillors try to copy his notes. What is you doing down there, boy? And people get so happy. And we people still pelting away with mango. The Progressive Empowerment Party is an organization that does not give itself much room for error. Or if you walk in our war room now, written big on the backdrop, what it says? Nothing is good enough until we win. That is not just the election. That is the country. The better nation, all of them spoke about. Trinidad wins. Trinidad wins when you have water in your tap 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Nothing is good enough until that happens. Felicia Holder said that they and Christophe reminded, or she was speaking of Christophe, who said that to get into politics, you have to lose friends. And that's true. To get into politics at this level, you have to be willing to walk away from people who, even people that you're related to, when you realize they're in wrongdoing, you have to step back from that. But what they forgot to mention was that you lose some friends, but you gain a massive family. I love the people that I am in politics with. I love them. I love them all. We have some characters, like every family. We have some. Anne-Marie, I wasn't looking at you. But you smiled, so I think you think I was looking at you. We have every personality type, every character trait, and it fits. I didn't go looking for Sean Sunarine, deputy chairman of the party, but at this point I don't know what I would do without Sean Sunarine. I didn't know that we would have had a PRO. We couldn't afford a PRO, and then Janice Lemon Cricket joined the party. And if this party was not catch-tail, they have children here, right? A catch-tail party. If we had all the money in the world, I still would have hired Janice Lemon Cricket. I think we have the best, hardest working PRO in the business. Say it twice. You're not here in the balcony. Come down and pit. I know that every time I speak, you'll expect bacchanal. I want to give you some. Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. But just now, right? Felicia talked about driving on the North Coast, and she said it. And I remember as a teenager going to a line on Maracas Beach, and they had a bonfire, and we were linemen and doing the things young people do, drinking rum, smoking cigarette, having a good time. And I can't think of a time that I would contemplate that in Trinidad now. And she's correct. We live in the most beautiful country in the world. There is no better country. You go to countries that build stuff, that you could look at the stuff they build. We could build that stuff too. But raw material for raw material, they have nothing sweeter than Trinidad and Tobago. Nothing way in the world. No other country nowhere in the world have a no man's land. No other country in the world have a nylon pool. No other country in the world have a pitch lake like we have a pitch lake. Do you know that there's an ecological site that talks about the healing benefits of the sulfur springs in Trinidad, Pitch Lake and Labray, and I didn't even know about that? We have the oldest protected forest in the Western world, in Tobago, and the Aripo forest that this government is raping right now is habitat for flora and fauna that exists nowhere else in the world. Our people, Sarah spoke about it. Our people have no hope. This is not hope. That jackass of a prime minister is in the Bible, is in the Bible. Mary went to Bethlehem on one. Said to his renter crowd last night that social media giving fake news about crime. So what they burying, Rowley? They burying fake bodies. What they burying? I tell you what he getting tired with. Fake police, fake justice, fake government. That is what fake in Trinidad and Tobago. But the news on social media, God bless it. Because if it wasn't for social media, we would know half of the things that going on in this country. We would know half of what's going on in Trinidad and Tobago. You would know that Keith Rowley, Rohan Sinanan, and Colm Imbert deliberately crashed the Tobago Sea Bridge so they could go to Austral in Australia so Howard Chinley could get a commission. You didn't know that? A P&M financier who get a permission to build a dock off Pier 1 that was licensed to him as a party venue. So now that they could park up all them old stinking Taiwanese diesel boat spilling feces into the last beach they leave for black hen chicken to swim in Caranage and Chagaramas. That is your P&M government coming back to you to tell you we care. Who the P&M care about? Who on the ground the P&M care about? The people in Cocorit, across the road from where Bayside Town, where Sabga billing and billing and billing. The plan is to come from Peaks and connect to Westmall. But what they do is they lock off 50,000 young people inside Waterhole, Harding Place and Cocorit, who used to spend their days and nights fishing. Now they're sitting down on concrete block, watching one another, with nothing to do with their life. And we're talking plain now. If people have no hope and no opportunity, you are sowing the seeds of our national destruction. And that is what these two political parties have done. When they took away proper education, culture, the arts, sport, we've become a nation of people eking out a survival every single day. Nobody happy in Trinidad and Tobago. Nobody. We might smile, but we're not happy. This is not a safe place to live. This is not a safe place to raise children. This is not a safe place to grow old. And that is very bad. You cannot have the same representation that caused the problem coming to offer itself to you as the solution. That is insanity. There is nobody alive that can explain the fact that across the road from where I am speaking, the drain is overgrown and they have no sidewalk. That is not representation. That is contempt. And you have to accept that. You cannot go forward with a solution until you face the problem. The problem in Trinidad and Tobago, beyond a shadow of a doubt, all the criminality, all the murder, all the drugs, all the guns, everything that they could tell you, the poverty, the squalor, the degradation, the loss of life, the murder, the poverty, the homelessness, all of it is because of the P&M and the UNC and the people that they represent. The P&M and the UNC understands that Trinidad and Tobago is a narcotics pipeline to the United States and Canada because I know. So they have to know because I am not the brightest tool in the shed. If I know, they must know. And if I know and I know the solution, and if I tell you that the solution sitting down on the Minister of National Security desk, if the maritime security wall that you hear the Progressive Empowerment Party, because we are the only party that talk about this, and we didn't make it up. This in national security since Patrick Manning was buying blimps. And when we explain to people that you secure the border so nothing could be smuggled, they don't understand that. The other day I shared a video. A boat was motoring up to New York City, and after they gave him 2 warnings, the 3 fast interceptor boats and the 2 helicopters that show up on him, the first boat rammed him. So even if your radio wasn't working and you was asleep, you're awake now. The first boat crashed straight into him, Coast Guard. Stop him dead in the water. They board him. That's how you do it. This is a country where the Prime Minister could tell you that there are 30,000 illegal guns in the country. Tell you that a year ago, they've done nothing to stop the flow of guns. We see, because a police jeep gets stranded on a beach. 3 officers from 3 different police stations. None of what they say add up, but we can ask no more questions. Because there are lawyers in this country whose job it is now to silence the last line of defense, which is us, the people. Because the government is involved in criminal activity. The government is criminally facilitating crime in this country. And we are not going to survive as a nation if we do not face what is going on in that parliament. That is our truth. Having members of parliament screaming at each other, shut up, you shut up, and all of that kind of nonsense. The Speaker of the House, out of one party, takes side and throw somebody from the other side out. The country has gotten to a point where nothing works. And it was nothing was working in licensing office, and nothing was working in legal affairs, and nothing was working in passport office, and nothing was working in Ministry of Education, nothing was working in WASA, nothing working in tongue and country, nothing working anywhere, public health, nothing working general hospital, nothing working Mount 2. Children, parents going to die to make children in San Fernando, and all of that, nothing was working. But now that we see nothing is working in the parliament, we're in trouble. Because the parliament is where we put 41 people, out of which a government comes. And a government's job, one job, is to seek the well-being of all the people. That's the government's role in society. Government has one job, to make sure that the people are safe, and they are protected, and they are happy, and they could get jobs, and they could own homes, and they could afford food, and they could educate the children, they could access first world health care. Those things are the government's job. Our government has failed. Our Speaker of the House of Representatives, Robert Amar, and I talk about it every single Thursday. The Speaker of the House of Representatives is granting leave to a member of parliament. What leave means is, you don't have to show up for work. Fine, you're sick, cool. But you are granting that leave based on nothing. You do not have a sick leave, and you do not have a fit for work certificate to say that you ever will be able to do this job again. And if you cannot ever do this job again, I cannot give you a sick leave. I cannot give you a leave of absence. I have to terminate you. But by failing to do that, by continuing the conspiracy, the Speaker of the House of Representatives is in contempt of the House, because the Speaker of the House of Representatives is facilitating a member of parliament drawing a salary under false pretenses. The media don't see that. There's a media table here again. The media has been invited. There are people in the Progressive Empowerment Party willing to take the chain up from certain members inside the media that say, tell your boss man, stop attacking we and we'll come. That's not how it started. Some of you may know, prior to the Progressive Empowerment Party, I was a regular on Hema Ramkissoon's show. And I was a regular on Fazil Muhammad's show. And they used to publish me in the Guardian, the Express, and the Newsday at least once a month in all. I was a columnist in the TNT Mirror, and I was a radio talk show host 6 to 10 every morning, Monday to Friday on 91.1. So I was involved in the media. And I understand how it works. When the Progressive Empowerment Party was formed, we stood up against all of the things that the current media represents. They decided we will black them out. You could do all you want to do, nobody will know. Philip Edward Alexander said, I am not taking that. And I will call you out on your vindictiveness, your wickedness, your deceitfulness, your hypocrisy. Because the function of media in society is critical. It protects the people from their government. But that can't happen if the media lying down in bed with the government. Cannot happen. Right now, the script has flipped and the media is protecting the government from its people. Which is a wrong side version of what we're supposed to be. So as Robert Amar said, and as Felicia Hola hinted at, and as Christophe Samlal wants to say, representation of the people, the wellness of the citizenry is the function, purpose, and reason for government. We have formed the Progressive Empowerment Party to marshal all 1.4 million Trinidadians together and stand up as one united people under one flag and demand better.
Yes, yes.
So come July 16th, we have the opportunity to put a Progressive Empowerment Party representative on 2 councils, and nothing could send an earthquake like last night. Nothing could send an earthquake through this country like the media that trying to hide us on election night when we pack up down on Stanmore Avenue, because that's where we're going to be, eh? And I don't think we could serve beers, but if you walk with your cooler, we're going to share what you're drinking. And they will have a board, and Tony Defoe and Janice Lemon Cricky and the rest of the media team will be controlling it. But the media will have to be announcing in Poland Division 1, PNM 17, UNC 3, PEP 912. And all of a sudden, that next morning, after we win representation in here, the PNM will show up and give all your sidewalks and give all your drains and give all your proper lampposts and proper street sign and proper street light and water in your tap in Belmont East and Barataria, because they will be trying to win it back. And while they're focusing on that, we'll be taking the rest. It is time for us as a people to stand together and rescue our country, our government, and the business class and the professional class that have ganged up against the people. We need to say enough. We are asking Barataria on the 16th of July to come out in your numbers and convincingly change the way politics is done in Trinidad and Tobago, and vote Christophe Samlal as the next councillor for Barataria. And to the people in Belmont East watching me, if you're registered to vote in Belmont East, do yourself a favor. Go and vote for Felicia Holder. The price of your property will go up. Your streets, your communities, your safety, your security, everything will start to change. And the rest of the country will see the benefits of having real representation for a change. And everybody will pile on. And the change that we are all hoping to get, working to get, fighting to get will come. Thank you very much.